What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna do something a little bit little different. I previously was telling y'all about Selkie. That's my main place to go if I'm just trying to level stuff and test stuff out. Although it is a great place to level stuff. Recently, I was doing kind of a rush to get to Mastery Rank 16. I was Mastery Rank 15 yesterday, and I was about halfway through Mastery Rank 15, and I needed to get Mastery Rank 16 to use a Riven mod for a certain weapon I wanted to work on. So I was trying to figure out a place that I could do that without having to use the weapon to level it, because I've noticed it's really fast if you level the weapon while you're using it to kill enemies or whatever. But this is a much more efficient method if you need to just level a bunch of weapons, level mastery rank, level anything, and you don't want to have to use it or spend the time upgrading it or anything like that. This is just a quick fire method for like mastery rank level, and also if you're just trying to form something and level it up again so you can complete a build. I would say this is probably one of the best leveling methods in that like sense, where you're not having to focus on using a weapon. The things you'll need is at least one frame that can go invisible. I would recommend Loki. If you mod him for duration, he can have about a 30-second invisibility, which is really good, especially if you mod him with duration and efficiency. Starting out the mission and going over time with a build like this, you can go invisible multiple times without having to worry about any kind of getting energy from anything. I only have one forma in him. I can't remember which slot it was. It was probably one of these D polarities here, but I'm not positive. But energy siphon helps, of course. While you're invisible, you regenerate energy, so you don't have to worry about that. Prime flow is just on there because I just put it on there to put it on there. I'm probably going to switch it out with probably speed drift. I need to look at that real quick. But this build is really efficient in doing this. Sprint speed, yes. So I'm going to put that on there just to give Loki the extra sprint speed. If you put on Rush, sprint speed, and armored agility, with his base running speed, he's really fast already, and then you add these and he just becomes a hell of a lot faster. I believe he's the fastest frame in the game. I'm not positive, but fastest frame in the game running-wise. So with this build, it's just duration, more duration, sprint speed, sprint speed, sprint speed. Rage is just kind of on there, honestly. Not a huge deal, but it helps, I guess. Honestly, let me see. I'm pretty sure this mod here, let me get to it. Fleeting expertise, yeah, it takes away duration, so that's probably why I don't have that. I think I'm going to take rage off and go ahead and put flow, just basic flow. So this is probably the most efficient build for him. If you're running this mission, doing this method to level up, I feel like it's the quickest way to level my weapons. I would probably say about 15 or 16 weapons in a span of 4 hours or so. Just running this over and over and over as fast as possible, running it solo, running it with friends, either or. But the only requirement is having a frame that goes invisible. You could use Ash. You could probably use Avara if you're okay with dealing with Prowl. Prowl makes you really slow, but I like Loki because he can move at complete full movement speed and not have to worry about it. He's got good duration on his invisibility, 28.6 seconds. So, and the efficiency is 35%, so it makes it really easy to just cast it and keep going about your day. Energy siphon will build that energy back up, so not a huge deal. So, biggest thing, frame that's invisible. If you like, you can always build ciphers. Let me just claim these real quick and get these out of the way. You can build ciphers. If you buy the market blueprint for this, the 10 cipher, I think it's like 100 plat. I got it a really long time ago, but just be cautious because it does take up a lot of ferrite and a lot of nanospores, 3,600 for each. So I made probably over like 300 ciphers and realized my ferrite was almost out of, I was almost out of ferrite, so I stopped making those. And once you run it a couple times and get the hang of it, it's not that big of a deal. You won't really need ciphers. So I'll show you where it's at. It's on Pluto. If you haven't unlocked this yet, it's pretty easy. You'll just probably have to unlock the Neptune junction here, or the Pluto junction, technically. So this is pretty much like, not an in-game planet, but you know, you have to do the second dream, you have to kill the hyena pack, and complete a Corpus spy mission with 3 successful data extractions on Neptune. So pretty easy requirements there. So you go over here to Oceum and do the regular mission, Spy Corpus. We'll load it up and I'll show you the rundown on how this works. Another thing that helps but isn't mandatory is your affinity booster. It's not mandatory by any means. You can do this without an affinity booster. It will be slower, of course. But it, like I said, if you're using weapons that you aren't really able to use, quote unquote, like you don't want to level them, you don't want to have to put a whole bunch of mods, and you just want to be able to run this, this is the method. This is the way to go about it. So there's about 3 or 4, or maybe about 5 different extraction rooms. Each one is pretty easy. I'm going to show you 3 of them in this video, of course. In my method for the quickest way to extract them and be done with it. So I usually save my invisibility for when I'm going to the extraction rooms because I don't want to waste any energy. So I call this one here the Tower of Lasers for obvious reasons, the Tower of Lasers. So if you're not in invisible frame and you break this, you want to wait till that patrol guard turns around before you step out, and that one will also turn around. You're going to just bullet jump up here, and once you're in here, they will not spot you if you're not invisible. So you're just going to kind of follow the way I go. You're going to wait till these go outwards, and then jump down, and then jump down into the box. And you just gotta have to learn the, oh, I'm almost messed up there. You just gotta kind of learn how to do those. I did it kind of slow, so if you want to like pause the video and re-watch it a couple times, they're not always the same pattern, but I've noticed that there's tricks to each one as you go and as you learn them. If you choose to make this your primary source of leveling, this will be pretty easy as time goes on. So that was the Tower of Lasers. That one's pretty simple. Don't really have to worry about that. The one that I think I probably hate the most is either what I call vents, because there's one specific camera that will catch you while you're using the vents. But we'll see if we get that one. So again, invisibility right when you get here, just so if anything does discover you, it doesn't shoot you in the back. This one is the wall of lasers, obviously. You're just going to follow the path I just did there. Follow it again. Again, if you're not invisible, you can still do that. If you are invisible, then you don't have to worry about anything. I usually take out this camera just to be sure. Sometimes there will be a grate here. You break that grate, drop down, and as long as you didn't go in front where that camera is right there, then you'll be fine. You can just drop down, hack this one. So like this is one of those tricks. The 2 V's in the bottom right there were next to what I call an eye, or a single prong. That is one of the tricks. If you notice that, you know both of those V's have to be facing away from that single prong. And the single prong is going to go towards the center. And it'll make sense the more you do it. Okay, this one is what I call the gauntlet. I usually take out this camera, wait till that goes down. Just a single jump there. If you bullet jump, you'll go too far into those lasers on the floor. You can do that to disable them. Slide under this and wall run on that. 1 or 2 jumps. It depends on how fast of a frame you're using. Again, this is why Ciphers come in handy. It makes it a lot faster, but again, not necessary. I'm used to doing this. If I'm speed running, I just kind of, you know, use ciphers and stuff like that. And because my weapons are kind of already high level, this is going to take longer just because they're in the like higher tier affinity bracket. Once they reach a certain level, it requires more affinity for each level. I think it's around 20 that it starts becoming a higher affinity bracket. Again, this is for primarily if you can't use the weapon because it's not very good damage-wise, or if you're just not getting enough out of the weapon as is. As you can see, I got my Rubico from I think 27 to 29 there easily. The Volnus I think was 24 or maybe 23. If not, the more that you have open, like your secondary and your sentinel, it gives you more XP per each one. I want to say that's true. That's how it felt last night when I was grinding out the MR16, but I could be wrong. But, I mean, that pretty much wraps it up. I just wanted to show everybody that. A lot of people are always like, well, how do I rank frames? How do I rank, you know, certain weapons and stuff that I can't really use out in the field? That's the way I do it. I was ranking Limbo, and Limbo is really hard to use when he doesn't have his abilities. But that is pretty much it right there. I love that. It's really fast, really simple, and once you get the hang of it, you can run each one in 2-3 minutes tops, and you're getting from base level 0. I think you can get everything on the first run to level 10 if you have multiple, like your secondary, your primary, and your melee. But that's the simple, easy leveling route. If I'm not doing Selkie to test stuff out, if I'm not able to use the weapon for Selkie, that is the way I run, and that is pretty much it, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you like the content on this channel, please subscribe, hit your notification button for whenever I upload. I know I've been uploading kind of slow. If y'all are wanting to see more videos, please leave a comment. Even if there's just a couple of y'all, I would happily make more videos. So just let me know. Thank y'all guys for tuning in, and I will see y'all next time.